Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, I told you we were going to be seeing a few different CJRBs, and of course, this guy is the next in line. This is the Maximal. Now, the Maximal is a design collaboration or a knife collaboration with David C. Anderson. So, as you can see, they sent us out a couple different colorways to check out. We'll take a look at both of them. Probably end up concentrating on one more than the other, but you got the green, you got the red. There's a black version as well. Of course, there'll be links down in the description. Y'all go check out, see if you can find your favorite knife color down there. But, so what do we got? What does the Maximal give us? Well, if we just take a look at the green one here, obviously, you got that little pop of bronze around the pivot collar, and that's pretty much the only sort of spice or flash you get with it, which is fine. I like the way that looks. For sure, the biggest thing I like about this knife, it is fully ambidextrous. Of course, you've got the crossbar lock, you've got a lanyard hole, you've got dual, you can mount it on both sides, so it's right or left hand, tip up, carry, and you've got dual thumb studs. So it is a truly ambidextrous knife, which always makes me happy because I always like showing a knife that is just made for, well, is made with our left-handed friends in mind. There you go. Got some nice contouring going on the scales. Open construction. Centering is on point. Yes, it is. 100%. That deep carry clip. Yeah. Inset liners going on. And everything chamfered off very, very nicely. So, this guy coming in at right at $50, not a bad option at all. So we're just going to give this one a few flips. We're probably going to concentrate on the red one because, well, yeah, But for the most part, let's see, we've got really good action. If I don't screw it up, it's just fine. There you go. Nice crossbar lock. I know that for some reason the crossbar axis style lock has been getting some hate lately, and I don't know why, but hey, you like what you like, right? You don't like what you don't like. So, yeah. But for me, yeah, the crossbar lock is still very nice, very good action. Now, I'm going to kind of shift over to the red one because, well, that's the one I really want to look at. But now, you see you don't have that pop of color on this one. Again, everything is done very well. Everything's chamfered off. Let's check the centering on this one. It's really, well, I'm trying to figure out. It was really nice of him to send out, too. Because like I say in a lot of my videos, sample size of one. I usually see one knife of a model and, I just have, but they sent out two. So to kind of compare a little bit, and both of these are done very, very well. Now, again, action, to me, the action on the red one seems just a little bit more fluid. And, well, I know why. It's the one I've been messing with more. So it's broke in a little bit more. We'll see. But the action is good if you don't screw it up like I just did. But so the first time I opened this, you know what kind of vibe I got from it? Take a wild guess. Yeah, I got a little bit of Ritter vibe. That whole RSK, and I think it's mainly in the blade. No, not saying anything. It's just, that's what I immediately thought of. I was like, oh, it's kind of got, looking like that kind of RSK blade, which I like. Now, it is a drop point. RPM 9 steel. Got a nice stone wash going on there. Again, there you go. Maker's mark. RPM 9. 1954 is the model number, in case you were interested. Now, let's check out. Now, those thumb studs are pretty much out of the sharpening path, which is awesome. Very, very good. I would say that is definitely out of the, you might have a tiny conflict right here, but I'm thinking not a whole lot, depending on how you sharpen and, do your thing. But overall, it's got a really, really nice look. It's got well, we'll talk about the feel, but So, all right, let's do our quick spec check. Get it out of the way. So what are we doing here? It's a little bit smaller. So we'll get it lined up as best we can. So I'm coming up with just about 6 and maybe a hair over 3/4, 6 3/4-ish, fully open. You've got about a 3 7/8 inch handle, just almost 4 inches, and your blade is going to come in at just shy of 3, with a cutting edge more like 2 3/4 on the cutting edge, and then grip length is just over 3 if you go point to point. So I'm going to be off that edge just a little bit. You know, that 3.5. Now, it's not uncomfortable or anything like that. It's just, you know, I'm about, for me, it's about a 3.5 before. And when I say point to point, I measure from natural grip from here to the point here. My thumb is off, or pinky is off that, just by a hair. Probably 3.5 finger grip for me. But locks in very, very nicely and gives me a very, very good grip. So let's see here. Let's get our size comparisons in here. Here is the bug out. So bug out is a slightly longer knife, 1/4-ish inch, probably a little more on the blade, and maybe close to a 1/4 inch on the handle. And if that's the case, then of course our PM2 is going to be a much larger knife. So much so that I got to zoom out a little bit to get it on the screen. So there you go. Well, let's do that. There you go. That's a little better. So overall, it's a smaller knife. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, if I don't get a full 3.5 finger grip, or 4 finger, can you tell I've been gone for a while? Back in the swing of things. Anyway, I can't get a full 4 finger grip on it. So, you know, I don't have overly large hands. I am exactly on the line between medium and large hand size when I do the measurements. So I do not have overly large hands. So it's on the smaller side, but that's what I like. I mean, I get a fantastic grip in it. So ergonomics. Let's talk ergonomics. Great. It feels very, very good in hand. That nice contour. Pocket clip, not an issue for me whatsoever. The action on both of these seems pretty darn good. Like I said, this one's a little more fluid at this point because, well, it's red and that's the one I've been playing with the most. And when I say a little bit, I mean a very little bit. This action is pretty darn good as well. So action, ergonomics, you know, to me, CJRB pretty much does it again. No wiggle, no wobble, nothing like that. Let's do this one just to make sure. Yep, tight, nothing, no wiggle, no wobble, and it's a solid knife for $50. I mean, that's pretty much, guys. It's amazing when you go to these. We all know that there's so many knives coming out. It's a fact. And, you know, just being at Blade Show Texas, God forbid, you know, you go to Blade Show Atlanta for your first one, you'll be overwhelmed. I mean, without a doubt. But even these smaller shows, just to see all the different models of knives that are out there, it's crazy. It's fun, and it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And we're talking, you know, Artisan CJRB. You go by their booth. Wow. Wow. Just them alone, you know, the models, the different models that they have. It's a lot of fun, though. You get your hand. I highly recommend you do it if you can at some point, because that is the best way to find a knife for yourself, is to get your hands on it and feel, you know, how it feels to you. So, but there you go. For right now, no, it's not. I was about to say this is the last in line. It's not the last in line. I still have yet at least one more model, CJRB model, and I do have an Artisan model to check out. So if you're an Artisan CJRB fan, stay tuned. More to come for sure, and packages keep showing up all the time. So who knows? But really appreciate you guys stopping by. Check out the Maximo with me today. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day. Like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.